The next question is E15.11. The following are selected transactions that may affect equity. So 1 to 9. In the following table, indicate the effect each of the 9 transactions has on the financial statement elements listed. Use the following code. Yeah, so I for increase, D for decrease, and E for no effect. So for each item, we need to determine what happened with the asset, liability, equity, share premium, retained earnings, or net income. So for the first item, recorded accrued interest earned on a note receivable. Yeah, so the key point to do this question is that you need to remember what is the journal entry. Yeah, so the journal entry for the first one, you will debit interest receivable and then credit interest revenue. Yeah, so as you can see, as you know already, interest receivable is a part of asset. Yeah, so the asset will increase, of course, and then you will have interest revenue. So revenue, remember, will increase your net income, and then therefore will increase your retained earnings also. And then your retained earnings, if it is increased, it will increase your equity. Yeah, so you need to remember the interrelationship between the components. So for liabilities and share premium is no effect. The second item, declare and distributed a share split. So remember, in share split, there is no effect at all in the accounting system. Just that you need to change the par value and then the number of the shares that has been outstanding. Yeah, so for all of the financial statement elements, there will be no effect. And then the third item, declare a cash dividend. So when you declare a cash dividend, you debit retained earnings, okay, and then you will credit cash dividend payable. Okay, so if you have known the journal entry, you can start doing the determine the effect. Okay, so of course, debit retained earning, okay, will decrease the retained earnings, and then therefore will decrease the equity. And then you will credit cash dividend payable, so of course your liabilities is increased. And then the rest of the elements, okay, is no effect. The fourth item, recorded a retained earning restriction. So retained earning restriction is just the notes that you have to prepare. Yeah, so there will be no accounting journal entry when you want to when you decide to restrict your retained earnings. Okay, so of course for all of the elements there will be no effect. Okay, and then item 5, recorded the expiration of insurance coverage that was previously recorded as prepaid insurance. So remember, for prepaid insurance, every period you must record the expiration of the insurance, yeah, in the adjusting entry. Okay, so the adjusting entry will be debit insurance expense, credit prepaid insurance. Okay, so because you debit expense, okay, of course your net income will be decreased, and it will affect your retained earnings also decrease, and then the last one is equity that will be decreased. And then because you credit the prepaid insurance, so your asset will be increased also. Will be decreased also. Okay, so for liability and share premium, there will be no effect. The sixth item, paid the cash dividend declared in item 3 above. So when you want to pay the cash dividend, you will debit cash dividend payable, credit cash. Okay, so just follow the journal entry. Okay, of course your liabilities will be decreased, and at the same time your asset also decrease. So for the rest of it, there will be no effect. And then item 7, recorded accrued interest expense on the note payable. Yeah, so when you want to accrue your interest expense in the adjusting entry, so there will be debit interest expense, credit interest payable. Okay, so for expense, of course, it will decrease the net income, and therefore the retained earnings, and then the equity. And then because you credit your interest payable, your liabilities will be increased. For asset and share premium, there will be no effect. Item 8, declare a share dividend. Remember, when you declare a share dividend, you will debit retained earnings, you will credit ordinary share dividend distributable. So in the share dividend, yeah, that is just the reclassification of retained earnings into the share capital. Yeah, so for the effect itself, only retained earnings that will be decreased. Okay, for ordinary share dividend distributable, there will be increase, but then here we don't have the element. And then the last one, distributed the share dividend declared in item 8. Yeah, so because we distribute the share already, okay, you will debit ordinary share dividend distributable, credit share capital ordinary. So because the journal entry item is not here, so for all of it there will be no effect.